Hi, my name is Jennifer Mullins. I'm the owner of Mullins Tutoring Incorporated, and today I'm going to review adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Our first problem is 2/3 plus 3/5. So as we can see, we have two different denominators, and we have to create this common denominator in order to add them together. On the right, I drew a rectangle. On the left side, I broke it into 3 equal parts, which is the denominator. And so we have 2/3. And then on the top, I broke it into fifths. So when we look at this, we can see that we have 15 equal squares. So 15 will be the common denominator for 2/3 and 3/5. I'm going to take my first fraction. I have 2/3 times 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to multiply by 5/5. And when we convert equivalent fractions, the number that we multiply by is always going to be the same in the numerator and denominator because that's the same as multiplying by 1. 5 times 2 is 10. And 3 times 5 is 15. So my 2/3 is going to become 10/15 plus, I'll bring my 3/5 down here and multiply that by 3/3. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 5 is 15. I have 10/15 plus 9/15. And now that we have the same denominator, we can add the fractions together. 10 plus 9 is 19. We do not add the denominators, we just bring it over to the side. Right now we have an improper fraction. An improper fraction is when the numerator is greater than the denominator. One way that we can do this is break our numerator up. As we just talked about, any number over itself is equal to 1. So we'll take 15 over 15 plus 19 minus 15 is 4, which gives me 4/15. So all I did was I broke this into two fractions. 15/15 is the same as 1 plus 4/15, and that's going to equal 1 and 4/15. You can also use division, and 19 will be inside, 15 will be our divisor. 15 goes into 19 one time, minus 15. We have that 4 remainder. So our remainder becomes our numerator, and our divisor becomes our denominator. And so we come out with the same answer either way. Let's look at our next problem. We have 1.5 plus 2 3/8. Sometimes when you do these problems, the denominator, we will only have to change one denominator. So 2 is a factor of 8. So we just need to change this first fraction. I'm going to bring down that 1/2 and multiply it by 4/4, and that's going to give me 4/8. So I have 1 and 4/8 plus 2 and 3/8. I'm going to add my two whole numbers. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and 4 plus 3 is 7. My denominator is 8. I have a proper fraction because my numerator is less than my denominator. And since they share no common factors other than 1, that is in simplest terms. So my final answer would be 3 and 7/8. So now we're going to do a couple of subtraction problems. The first one is 5/6 minus 5/18. Once again, like the problem above, 6 is a factor of 18, so 18 will be our common denominator. I have 5, 6, and 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm going to multiply 5/6 by 3/3. So 3 times 5 is 15. And 3 times 6 is 18. 15/18 minus 5/18 is equal to 10/18. Now, this is a proper fraction, but because both numbers are even, it can be simplified. One way to find, for simplification purposes, is you can create a tree to look at the factors. So with 10, I have 1 times 10, 2 times 5. For 18, I have 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. So the common factors are 1 and 2, but as I said before, 1 never changes anything, so that would never be the common factor we'd use. However, 2 is the common factor here. So we're going to divide 10/18 by 2/2. When we divide 10 by 2, we get 5. And when we divide 18 by 2, we get 9. Our final answer is 5/9. They have no common factor, which we can see other than 1. So this would be our final answer. Our last problem, we have 1 and 1/4 minus 2/5. So another way that you can find out what your the least common multiple is to create the factors for the problem. So here we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. For 4, we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. So we see that 20 is the least common multiple for 4 and 5. I'm going to take the 1/4 and multiply it by 5 over 5, which gives me 5/20. And I'm going to bring my whole number over. I'm going to have 1 and 5/20 minus 2/5. And I'm going to multiply 2/5 by 4 over 4. And that's going to give me 8/20. Okay, so now we have common denominators in order to subtract, but the problem is that the numerator for the first number is less than the numerator for the second number, or second fraction. So I'm going to rewrite this over here. Change colors. So I have 1 and 5/20 minus 8/20. So just like when we're using whole numbers, we have to borrow. And we're going to borrow from the 1, and we're going to convert that into 20 over 20, because as we've already talked about, any number over itself is equal to a whole. And in order to add to the 5/20, we have to have the common denominator. So we have 20/20 plus 5/20, which is going to give us 25/20. And then we're going, now that we have this 25/20, we can subtract 8/20. And that will give us 17/20. The only common factor 17 and 20 have is 1, so therefore we can't reduce it. 17 is less than 20, so it is a proper fraction. So this would be in simplest terms. Once again, my name is Jennifer Mullins. I own Mullins Tutoring Incorporated. I've been tutoring since 2002. I am offering online tutoring. If you would like some more information regarding tutoring, please feel free to contact me at information@mullinstutoring.net. Thank you.